Incredible discovery, little girl steers officer and K9 to safety after heartwarming collapse. The sun shone brightly over Maplewood Park, its warm rays spilling onto a picnic blanket sprawled beneath the sprawling oak trees. Laughter bounced through the air, mingling with the delicious scent of barbecue sizzling on the grill. Children raced in every direction, their little feet pounding joyfully on the grass while parents chatted nearby, soaking in the perfect summer afternoon. 10-year-old Emily Brooks, with her wild brown curls bouncing with every step, darted between groups of families. Her heart was light, brimming with visions of justice and adventure. Officer Eric Johnson was her hero. His badge glimmered like a beacon of courage, and she dreamt of the day she would wear one too. A nagging excitement bubbled in her chest as she imagined rescuing her very own K9 pup, just like Officer Johnson and his partner, Max. But in a heartbeat, happiness dissolved into fear. Emily's laughter faltered as she noticed a commotion on the other side of the park. A crowd had formed, and at its center lay Officer Johnson, motionless on the ground. Max stood by his side, barking fiercely, an unmistakable guard dog in a moment of distress. Panic swept through the onlookers like a gust of wind toppling a fragile tree. Emily's breath caught as tears threatened to spill from her eyes. In that stark, terrifying moment, she felt the pulse of uncertainty. Yet, she heard her parents' voices rising in her mind, encouraging her to be brave, to step up when others needed help. Her heart raced, but with it came resolve. She clenched her fists, took a deep breath, and moved closer. "Max. It's okay, buddy." She called out, her voice surprisingly firm despite the tremor in her chest. The dog's barking quieted just a notch, sensing familiarity. Emily's small frame carved a path through the chaos as she directed people, "We need to call 911. Someone, get their phone." A few people glanced at her, surprised by the confidence in her words. Adults flooded to her side, uncertainty slowly morphing into a collective determination to rally around the brave girl. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As sirens wailed in the distance, a wave of hope washed over the crowd. Emily encouraged Max to stay close to Officer Johnson, whispering to him soothing words. The paramedics burst onto the scene, and the townsfolk watched in breathless amazement, a sense of unity taking root right there on the grass. Emily's heart swelled with pride at being part of something so significant. But doubts lingered in the air. Could this little girl really save the day? Would they see the brilliance in her bravery, or would they brush it aside simply because she was young? Just then, as the sun dipped lower, casting a golden glow over the scene, the onlookers exchanged glances filled with unexpected respect. Emily's valiant stand was stirring something deeper, a change in perception about youth and courage. And just like that, the seeds of transformation were being sown in the hearts of Maplewood's residents. Would this courageous act inspire others to see the true value of their community's youth? As darkness began to creep into the horizon, a powerful question lingered: could heroes come in all shapes and sizes, regardless of age? The crowd held its breath, eyes glued to the scene, and the tension rippled through the air like a live wire. Emily watched as the paramedics swiftly tended to Officer Johnson, their hands moving efficiently, but her heart ached at the sight. She clenched her fists tighter, fighting the urge to run to them and plead for him to wake up. "Stay with us, Officer Johnson," she whispered, her cheeks damp with unshed tears. Max, the K9, seemed to sense her distress. He leaned against Emily, his warm fur providing a sense of comfort amid the chaos. His brown eyes were filled with concern, and she gently patted his side, feeling a connection, a silent promise that they were in this together. Parents moved closer, their expressions mixing worry with admiration for the little girl being so brave. One woman knelt next to Emily, her voice low but filled with urgency. "You're doing so well, sweetheart. Just keep talking to Max. He needs you right now." Emily nodded, her eyes locked on the paramedics. She took a deep breath, straining to drown out the murmurs of the crowd and focus on the familiar weight of Max beside her. "You're going to be okay, officer," she called out louder, her voice steadying with each word. "You're my hero, remember? You have things to do, people to protect." There was a moment when the paramedics stepped back, and it seemed every heartbeat echoed in the silence. The crowd leaned in closer, a mass of collective hope wrapped tightly around Emily. Then she noticed the slow flutter of Officer Johnson's eyelids. Come on," she urged quietly. Suddenly, he opened his eyes, squinting against the bright light. Emily felt a surge of relief crash over her, forcing out the breath she had been holding. The officer blinked slowly, disoriented, but there was recognition in his gaze. "It's okay, officer," she encouraged, her heart soaring. "We're here, and Max is right by your side." Officer Johnson turned his head slightly, acknowledging Max, who had now calmed down and was wagging his tail. With effort, he smiled, a soft, grateful smile that spoke volumes. Emily's chest swelled with pride, the gravity of the moment rushing in like a tide. As the paramedics continued their work, the community buzzed with excitement. Whispers of Emily's courage spread quickly, transforming fear into admiration. The sunlight seemed to shine even brighter with each passing second, illuminating this unexpected moment of hope. But the battle was not over. The officer's condition still had everyone on edge. Emily felt a tug at her heartstrings. What if he needed more than just medical help? Could she really make a difference here? The question lingered in the air, as heavy as a storm cloud. Time seemed to stretch as she held her breath, eyes locked on the unfolding scene, each heartbeat reminding her how fleeting heroism could be. Yet, what she didn't expect was the realization that her bravery could spark something bigger than herself, a transformation in everyone around her. What legacy would she leave behind in this moment? Would this be a catalyst for others to step up, too? Just as the thought began to take root, a voice from the crowd broke through her reverie. "Let us give our heroes a round of applause." With those words, the wave of clapping rippled through the park. When Emily felt more than applause, she felt a shift. Could this moment change everything? Little did she know, a far larger challenge was just around the corner, and she would need to summon every ounce of courage within her. As she stood there, feeling the shift of destiny, she realized, sometimes, a small spark can ignite a flame much larger than itself. What awaited her in the days to come would test every lesson she had learned. Would she be ready? The applause gradually faded, but the energy lingered in the air, crackling with possibility. Emily stood in the center of it all, her heart still racing. She was only a kid, but she felt bigger, like she'd somehow grown taller with the weight of the moment. Officer Johnson's eyes, filled with gratitude, seemed to whisper that she'd already made a difference. As the paramedics attended to him, she glanced down at Max, who was now standing alert, ears perked and looking around. "What now, buddy?" she murmured, rubbing the back of his neck. Max's tail reacted with a wag, his unwavering loyalty a comforting presence in the whirlwind of concern and chaos. Suddenly, a familiar voice called out from the crowd. It was Mrs. Garcia, Emily's teacher. "Emily! Come here, honey." Emily's heart skipped as she spotted her, pushing through the throng to reach Emily. Mrs. Garcia wrapped her arms around her, squeezing tightly. "You were so brave. I'm proud of you." "Thanks, but Officer Johnson needs help." Emily's voice was small, fighting the swell of emotion. "I know, sweetie. They're taking good care of him. You did something amazing. Your courage helped everybody here." A flutter of warmth surged within her. She had fought through fear, she had chosen to be there, brave and strong. But before she could respond, Officer Johnson was being lifted onto a stretcher, and the crowd parted as he was brought to an ambulance. "Max! We need to stick together," Emily called, directing the dog to follow her as they moved closer to the ambulance. Max's presence steadied her as uncertainty danced at the edges of her thoughts. "Your name's Emily, right?" A paramedic smiled at her, giving her a reassuring nod. "You were incredible back there. Thank you for being so supportive. We're going to get the officer the help he needs. I hope he's okay." Emily fell back on her promise. As the ambulance doors swung shut, a cheer erupted from the crowd, a wave of collective hope washing over anyone who had witnessed the scene. Emily felt a flicker of hope herself. Perhaps, just maybe, things would turn out all right. "All right, everyone." Officer Davis, the chief of police, stepped forward, the energy in his voice commanding attention. "We are grateful for all your support today. Thanks to Emily and her K-9 companion, Officer Johnson is aware, and he will receive the care he needs. We can't underestimate how important these moments are in our community." The crowd erupted into cheers once more, and Emily felt flush with pride. But as the buzz around her continued, she noticed something unusual. A flicker of commotion further down the park caught her eye. A small group of people was gathering around something hidden by trees. "What's happening over there?" Mrs. Garcia asked, squinting in the direction of the noise. "Let us go check it out," Emily said, already taking a step toward the commotion, curiosity bubbling within her. "Sweetheart, maybe we should wait," Mrs. Garcia began, concern lacing her voice. "We can't. I feel like something important is happening," Emily pressed, glancing back at Max who looked equally intrigued. With a shared glance of understanding, they moved together, drawn toward the unfolding mystery. With every step, her heart raced, each thud echoing the dawning realization that her day was far from over. What would they uncover? As they approached, a strange energy enveloped the park, thickening the air with suspense. And in that moment, Emily could sense that this spark might just ignite another journey, one that would change everything again. As Emily and Mrs. Garcia weaved through the crowd, the murmurs around them grew louder, more excited. The trees crowded together like a protective wall, bending slightly in the gentle breeze as curiosity pulled them closer. Emily felt her heart race again, not from fear this time, but from the thrill of the unknown. "Do you think it's something serious?" Mrs. Garcia asked, her voice edged with worry. "I don't know, but we have to find out," Emily replied, her determination unwavering. She could see shadows moving in the clearing ahead, and it felt like the air itself was charged with magic. Max trotted beside her, tail wagging, sensing her anticipation. As they pushed through the last of the small crowd, a clearing opened up before them. A small group of kids stood in a tight circle, eyes wide and excitement palpable. In the center of their gathering, an object shone brightly. "What is it?" Emily whispered, her heart pounding. She was close enough to see the gleaming surface, a small, old-fashioned music box, nestled in the grass. A boy knelt beside it, careful fingers brushing away dirt as if uncovering something sacred. "I think it's really old," he exclaimed, his eyes sparkling with wonder. "Look at the carvings." Emily stepped closer, peering over his shoulder. The music box was ornately designed, with tiny figures dancing around its edges, frozen in a timeless waltz. Even from a distance, she could hear a delicate tune escaping the box. It drifted through the air, sweet and nostalgic, wrapping everyone in its embrace. The enchanting sound brought warmth to their hearts. "I saw something similar in a story," another child piped up. "It belonged to a princess, and it could grant wishes." "No way. This can't be real," a third child exclaimed, eyes gleaming with delight. But as Emily listened, she felt something in her chest tighten. She hadn't just come to witness a forgotten treasure, she could feel that the music box was breathing some magic into the day, stirring emotions she couldn't place. Maybe we should take it to the police, Mrs. Garcia suggested, her brow furrowed. They might know what to do. No. Emily said before she could stop herself, the conviction in her voice surprising them all. What if it's meant for us to find? What if it's for something wonderful? The atmosphere shifted as whispers of possibility wove through the group. Hope threaded itself into their hearts as they considered Emily's words. Everyone leaned in closer, captivated by the allure of this small treasure they had stumbled upon. The boy lifted the box gently, holding it as if it were fragile glass. What should we do? Emily's mind raced. They were standing at the edge of a tale unfolding, filled with potential yet unknown. Could this music box change their lives, lead them on an adventure? Just then, a loud crash echoed through the trees, shattering the spell. Leaves rustled as if frightened, and the children jumped back, startled. Emily's breath caught in her throat. Was this the beginning of something remarkable, or had they unwittingly drawn attention from something dangerous? What was that? She whispered, her voice trembling now. As fear mingled with excitement, they all turned to see what lay hidden beyond the trees. Fear and anticipation collided in Emily's heart, but she felt compelled to move forward. What waited on the other side could be a challenge or the answer to the mystery of the object she held, the key to a journey that would make her courage and heart bloom. And as the vision of what lay ahead sharpened in her mind, one unanswered question thrummed louder than the others: what awaited them in the shadows of the trees? The ground trembled slightly underfoot, as if echoing the tension that hung in the air. Emily took a breath, her heart racing with the thrill of the unknown. Mrs. Garcia's hand tightened around Emily's arm, as if anchoring herself to the moment. Maybe we should go back, Mrs. Garcia said, her voice shaky but determined. Emily wanted to reassure her, but how could she explain the pull she felt toward the unseen? Max whined softly, sensing their unease. He looked back and forth between Emily and Mrs. Garcia, his tail still wagging but tinged with uncertainty. No, let us see what it is, Emily urged, her voice barely above a whisper. The others had begun to murmur among themselves, excitement mixing with fear. The music box, still glimmering in the fading sunlight, held them captive, and she refused to leave without understanding its significance. Holding on to her courage, she stepped closer to the trees, pulling Mrs. Garcia along with her. We can't let fear stop us. Look. She pointed to the knot of kids, who had gathered their courage and were beginning to inch forward. In that moment, the air split with a new sound, a crash that echoed off the trees, louder this time, a heavy thud that seemed to shake the very ground they stood on. A collective gasp rippled through the group. Emily's heart raced, now mixed with a hint of fear that crept into her chest. Is there someone out there? A boy called, his voice trembling. Emily's eyes darted to a pair of bushes shifting nearby. They were too wide to be just brushing against the wind. Her instincts nudged her forward even more, footsteps quickening as the shadows deepened in the forest. What if someone needs help? Mrs. Garcia hesitated, but watching the other kids rally herself, she finally let go of Emily's arm. All right, we'll stick together. Just as they were about to reach the edge of the trees, a figure emerged. It was a man, his shirt rumpled and his face lined with dirt. He fell to his knees in front of them, a look of defeat etched across his brow. Are you okay? Emily asked, her heart thumping wildly. She wanted to take a step back, but the trust she had for her instincts held her firm. He looked up, startled, but then a small, weak smile broke through his troubled expression. I'm not hurt, just a little lost. He looked past her, his eyes flickering toward the music box, now standing defiantly at the forefront of the group. That thing, is it real? The other kids looked at one another, whispers buzzing through the air. Emily took a deep breath. She understood now that this music box wasn't just an object, but a bridge connecting them to something bigger, to the mystery that wove through the fabric of their lives. What's your name? She asked, stepping closer, fueled by the urgency and magic of the moment. Tom, he said, the tension in his shoulders easing slightly. Can you help me? I heard the music, it led me here. For a moment, Emily's heart soared. This wasn't just about a music box, it was about connection, a way to bring strangers together in their shared uncertainties. She felt the thrill of adventure course through her again. They could help him find his way. Suddenly, an eagerness sparked in the group, their earlier fears dissipating like fog in sunlight. They all began to gather around Tom, eyes bright with determination. But as they leaned closer to hear his story, another loud crack rang through the woods, even louder than before. Everyone froze, the air growing heavy with tension again. Emily exchanged glances with Max, who seemed to sense the shift in atmosphere. Was it the music box again? She wondered aloud, dread creeping into her excitement. Tom's eyes widened with uncertainty. We should be careful, that sound felt different. Then, the ground shook again, and Emily could feel it under her feet. Was this a warning or a sign of something beautiful yet to come? As the moment hung in the air, Emily's heart raced again, but this time it was mixed with a new question she couldn't shake: what lurked in the shadows, waiting for them to discover the truth? Emily's breath caught in her throat as the shaking intensified. She felt the ground ripple beneath her like a heartbeat, alive with something unfathomable. The frantic exchanges among the group faded into a dull buzz, each worried face reflecting her climbing anxiety. Everyone, back up! She commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos. Her mind raced. How far could this tremor go? Despite her fear, she couldn't turn away. Not now. Tom, still kneeling, looked up, his gaze piercing through the thickening tension. The music box is calling, he murmured, almost to himself. It wants you to listen. We have to follow it. A chill ran through Emily. Follow it? The words were both terrifying and thrilling. Did he really believe that? But that same pull she had felt earlier tugged at her again, compelling her to step forward, to trust in something bigger. Is the music still playing? She asked, scanning the trees for movement. Can you hear it? Just then, the sound of distant, haunting melody drifted through the air, weaving its way around them like a comforting embrace. The others looked toward the direction of the sound, their uncertainty shifting to intrigue. Tom nodded slowly, clutching the ground with dirty fingers. Yes, I have to go. He stood up, brushing dirt off his pants, his eyes blazing with urgency. The noise grew softer, more alluring, as if it was a beacon inviting them further into the woods. Where are you going? Mrs. Garcia's voice cracked. Emily shot her a reassuring look but felt her own doubt creeping in. I can't explain it, Tom replied, his voice barely a whisper over the enchanting tune. But I think it can help me find my way home. Emily felt the tension fade just a little, replaced by a wave of compassion. This wasn't just about them anymore. This was about a lost soul, yearning for understanding and direction. Then let us help you, Emily declared, feeling the resolve well up in her chest. We'll figure it out together, but we need to be careful. And with that, they stepped farther into the line of trees, each step bringing a blend of hope and terror. Max walked closer to Emily, his ears perked up, reflecting his own apprehension but also his loyalty. The music wrapped around them, growing louder as they moved deeper. Each note brushed against the leaves and caressed their skin, like secrets being whispered. Tom turned to face the group. The music is leading us. We're almost there. His excitement fused with the tension in the air, igniting something within them. A knowledge. A shared purpose. But as the melody unfolded strands of mystery, the earth shuddered once more, followed by a deep, rumbling growl like a warning resonating from deep within the ground. What was that? A girl squeaked, her eyes wide with fear. Emily looked back at the group, their shared trepidation evident. Stay close. Whatever it is, we'll face it together. Determined, they pushed forward, edging toward the glow of the music box that now flickered at the edge of a clearing. But adrenaline coursed through her, mingled with an unsettled feeling. What awaited them in that clearing? As they reached the edge, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was hard to see clearly, but it was unmistakably alive, moving, and aware. "What are you?" Emily shouted, her heart pounding, the earlier thrill fading into dread. The figure paused, eyes locking onto hers, and a chilling silence descended. In that moment, the world felt suspended. What appeared next could change everything. Emily's heart raced as the figure stepped into the dim light, half hidden by the twisted branches. It wasn't human, or at least not entirely. The creature was small, with luminous green eyes that reflected the glow of the music box, and skin like shimmering scales. It wore layers of tattered leaves and moss, like a living canvas of the forest itself. What are you?" Emily breathed, her voice trembling. The figure looked at her curiously, tilting its head. For a brief moment, it seemed to ponder her question, then it spoke, its voice a strange harmony of whispers and wind. "I am Alicia, keeper of the melodies. You have come seeking, but first, you must know the truth of this place." Emily exchanged glances with the others, each face mirroring a mix of awe and fear. They had ventured far beyond reality into something fantastical. "What truth?" she managed, trying to maintain composure. Alicia gestured with a delicate hand towards the music box, now pulsating with a soft rhythm. "This music, it binds the past and present. It allows lost souls to find their way to those who can help." The tiny figure took a step closer, sensing their hesitation. "You know the song. It sings within you. Follow it, and you will uncover what lies hidden." Tom took a step forward, entranced. "Is it true? Can the music guide us home? Can it help me?" "Yes," Alicia replied, a soft smile breaking across its face. "But be warned. The journey is not without challenge. There are forces here that do not wish to be disturbed." An echoing growl rose up again from the depths of the woods, sending a wave of adrenaline coursing through Emily's veins. Her instincts screamed that they should turn back. Yet, beneath that fear, a flicker of determination sparked. This was their chance a hopelessly lost boy might find himself again. "Okay." She squared her shoulders, letting the decision solidify within her. "If we're going to do this, we do it together. Let us, Alicia." Alicia nodded approvingly. The music swelled around them, each note intertwining with the rustling leaves, creating a trail of sound that beckoned deeper into the forest. As they followed Alicia, Emily felt a tangle of hope and dread mingling in her chest, each step drawing them closer to the unknown. Max stayed tightly against Emily's side, his fur bristling as another rumble shook the earth. This time it felt more oppressive. Shadows danced in the corners of her vision, twisting and teasing. She wanted to believe Alicia's words, but her mind raced with uncertainty. "What happens if we fail?" A boy whispered from the back, his voice shaky. "What if whatever it is out there gets us?" "Then we face it," Emily replied, her own uncertainty curving into resolve. "Whatever comes our way, we have each other." With that, they pressed on, the clearing opening wide in front of them. They stepped into a space drenched in silver light, where trees formed a natural amphitheater. Ethereal shapes flickered between the trunks, drawing closer, and the music grew louder, an overwhelming symphony that entwined their thoughts. But then Alicia halted, raising a hand. "This is as far as I can go. The true test lies ahead," it warned, voice trembling with gravity. Emily's heart sank, and she turned back to the group, meeting Tom's wide-eyed gaze. This was at the moment to step into the heart of what could reshape everything. But just as they prepared to move forward, the air shifted. A dark figure emerged from the shadows at the edge of the clearing, casting a long, cold shadow across them. "Who dares to disturb my domain?" it thundered, the voice deep and echoing. Emily's breath caught again. What lay ahead was not just a question but a challenge, one that would test every bond they had forged. Would they find strength together, or would fear tear them apart? In that moment, she understood that this was more than a search for a way home, it was about finding themselves amid the chaos. The figure loomed closer, and Emily stepped forward, ready to confront whatever awaited them. But deep down, a question lingered: what was truly at stake in this encounter? As the dark figure emerged fully from the shadows, its eyes glimmered like embers against the night. Emily held her breath, torn between the instinct to run and the need to stay. She could sense the impending danger pressing against her like a dense fog. "What do you want?" she called out, her voice steadier than she felt. It echoed through the clearing, swallowed by the surrounding trees. The figure laughed, a sound like shattering glass, sharp and unsettling. "What I want is inconsequential. What you seek is the real question here." It stepped closer, and the silver light of the clearing flickered uncertainly. "You wish to uncover the songs of this forest. But are you prepared for the truth?" Tom shifted nervously beside her, and Emily glanced at him. His jaw was set, but his hands trembled slightly. They were all feeling the weight of that question reverberate in their chests. Would they be able to face what lay hidden, the truths buried within both the melodies and themselves? Alicia, still near the edge of the light, looked anxious. Its soft voice whispered, "Do not lose hope. The forest desires to reveal itself, but you must demonstrate your willingness to listen." The dark figure glared, its gaze piercing. "Listening requires sacrifice. Will you offer a piece of yourself for the knowledge you seek?" Emily frowned, heart pounding. "We don't have to do that. We can find another way." The figure simply smiled, a grim expression that sent shivers down her spine. "Oh, but every light has its shadows. You cannot know joy without experiencing pain. It's how the songs are formed." Alicia took a cautious step forward, its small frame dwarfed by the menace in front of them. "You don't have to agree to this. There are other paths, ones less treacherous." Tom's voice broke through the tension, trembling with determination. "We'll face whatever it is together. Nothing can separate us." The dark figure's laughter lilted through the air again. "Foolish children," it mocked. "But, alas, your unity does have merit. It may shield you from what lies ahead." The shadows around it seemed to pulse, a living entity, waiting for the signal to overwhelm them. Drawing a deep breath, Emily felt the music box vibrating subtly against her chest. "You talk a lot about sacrifice. But what do you really know about us? You don't understand why we're here." A sharp silence fell, heavy with anticipation. The figure hesitated, its expression shifting. "Perhaps you are more than mere intruders. There's a strength in your bond, one that could change the very fabric of this forest. Then let us show you." Max growled, planting himself protectively in front of Emily. She felt a rush of pride swell, even amid the chaos. In that moment, the shadows stirred, swirling around them like a storm. Emily's heart raced, not out of fear this time but out of purpose. They had to stand together. Whatever truth awaited them, they would face it head-on, side by side. "Then let us hear the truth," Emily declared, her voice rising above the growing intensity. A sudden silence enveloped the clearing. The dark figure appeared taken aback, staring at her with an intensity that felt almost alive. Just then, a haunting melody began to rise from the depths of the forest, echoing the pulsating rhythm of the music box, intertwining seamlessly with what Emily had felt all along. "What is this?" the figure growled, the shadows swirling angrily. Emily felt a strange sense of empowerment, as if the music was forcing the truth from deep within her heart. They were closer now, on the brink of unveiling something extraordinary. "Will you join us?" she asked boldly, her voice unwavering. But the shadows surged forward again, creating a wall of darkness that swelled like a tide. What came next would shape their fates forever, but could they withstand this dark force? Or would they falter at the very edge of their destiny? The shadows crashed into them, a wave of darkness meant to drown out the light. Emily felt a close pressure, squeezing the breath from her lungs, yet her resolve burned brighter. She could hear the distant echoes of the melody, urging her forward, like a heartbeat racing with purpose. Together! She shouted, grasping Tom's hand tightly, feeling the warmth of his grip. The darkness writhed, tendrils wrapping around them, but Emily focused on the music, the harmony that resonated with her spirit. It wasn't just a song from the forest, it was their song, a blend of friendship, courage, and hope that suffused them with strength. Fight it! Alicia's voice rang out, steadier than ever. The little creature stepped into the fray, a glimmer of light radiating from it, pushing against the shadows. We have to believe. Max growled, joining Alicia with a fierce bark, his eyes shining like twin beacons. The shadows hissed in response, retreating ever so slightly at the combined force of their unity. Feel the truth within you. Emily urged, her heart thumping. This is our moment. We've come too far to turn back now. Suddenly, the haunting melody shifted, pulling them into its embrace, wrapping around the shadows like vines of golden light. Emily could feel its warmth, how it resonated with the ground beneath her, the ancient roots of the trees pulsating in rhythm with their hearts. The dark figure loomed above, glaring down at them, its expression one of baffled anger. You think mere children can wield such power? You are mistaken. But we're not just children, Tom countered boldly, eyes steely. We're connected. This forest is alive, and so are we. Our voices matter. We will not be silenced. With a loud crack, the shadows began to crumble, splintering like glass under pressure. A bright light surged from Emily, ignited by the music more real than the sinister force breaking apart around them. Look! Alicia called, pointing toward the heart of the clearing, where luminescent flora began to bloom, revealing hidden paths that slithered like silver streams through the trees. The forest is responding. Colors spilled across the clearing, vibrant blooms pulsing with energy, each petal humming with invisible notes that shaped the song and shone a path for them to follow. Emily felt alive, full of purpose as the shadows receded further, retreating into the depths of the night. Keep singing. Max said, pressing forward, the gleam of his teeth contrasting sharply against the darkness. He seemed to pull strength from the depth of their bond, each bark resonating with the sound of friendship. As the last remnants of shadow disappeared, the forest around them transformed. The trees stood tall and proud, leaves dancing in a gentle breeze, illuminated by the soft glow of the blooming flowers. What have we done? Tom whispered, awe-stricken as he looked around. The figure, reduced to a mere silhouette now weakened, watched them. You may have pushed me back for now, but this forest holds many more secrets. And every truth comes at a cost. Emily's heart sank for a moment. The cost. They had faced shadows, but were they truly ready to dive deeper into the forest's hidden songs? As she exchanged glances with her friends, determination replaced doubt. They had uncovered the first layer, but what lay beneath? The music swelled again, calling to her like a siren's song. We won. Stop here, Emily promised, gripping Tom and Max's hands tight. We will discover the truth, no matter what it takes. Just then, the ground beneath them trembled, a low rumble echoing through the forest. Something stirred in the depths, something ancient and powerful, waiting to be awakened. Would they be brave enough to face it? What answers could await them in the shadows of the forest's depths? The trembling ground settled, but a charged silence filled the air, the kind that made every heartbeat sound like a drum echoing in a cavern. Emily felt the weight of their task, heavy yet exhilarating. The forest, once a dark maze, now bloomed around them in radiant color, but shadows still lurked at the fringes, holding secrets too deep to unearth easily. Everything is connected, Alicia whispered, glancing at the vibrant flowers, their bright hues glimmering like stars in the twilight. Each melody, each heartbeat, it weaves the fabric of this place. Emily's heart thrummed in response, a steady beat against the encroaching anxiety. "We fight together, right?" she asked, turning to Tom, who nodded with fierce determination. Max wagged his tail, a steady source of courage. With resolve shoring up her spirit, Emily stepped boldly toward the glimmering pathway that opened before them, illuminated with soft light that felt almost like an invitation. "Let us go deeper," she declared, a fire sparking in her core. "We'll discover more of this truth together. We're ready." As they ventured forward, the landscape shifted around them. The air thickened with the scent of wildflowers, and the music pulsed in harmony with their steps, a rhythm that urged them onward. The shadows beneath the trees danced playfully, the whispers of the forest growing louder, yet they felt emboldened by their unity. Suddenly, a series of loud rustles broke the silence, sending a ripple of tension through the group. They paused, scanning the area, hearts pounding. Alicia stepped slightly ahead, its gentle presence soothing their frayed nerves. "Be cautious, the forest is alive, and it tests those who seek its secrets," it warned, voice soft yet serious. A flicker of movement caught Emily's eye. From behind the bark of a gnarled tree, a creature appeared, small and timid, with large, expressive eyes shimmering like the night sky. "Who are you?" it whispered, stepping into their light. I am Luma," it replied, voice barely above a whisper. "I've been watching you." "Watching?" Emily asked, curiosity brewing. "Why?" "Because you've shown courage where others have faltered. You light up the darkness," Luma explained, a mixture of awe and trepidation simmering in its gaze. "But be warned, there are those who do not wish to see the truth unveiled." "What do you mean?" Tom asked, stepping forward. "Are there more shadows? More threats?" "Yes," Luma confirmed, eyes widening. They'll do everything to keep their secrets buried. They use fear as their weapon. But you can shine a light on it if you're willing to fight." Every cell in Emily's body ignited with purpose. "We are willing. We'll face whatever comes, together." She spoke the words firmly, feeling them anchor her resolve. Her eyes flickered over to Tom and Max, who mirrored her determination, the spirit of camaraderie wrapping around them like an unbreakable bond. Just then, a low growl echoed from deeper within the woods, a warning that reverberated in the deepest parts of their hearts. Emily sensed that the shadows were restless, eager to challenge them. "We need to be prepared," she told the group as they huddled together. "We've come too far to turn back now." Suddenly, the ground began to tremble, the low growl intensifying into a roar. "They'll come for you," Luma warned, eyes glittering with urgency. "The Veil Keeper burdened by the shadows will not allow you to see the heart of this forest." "Then let it come," Emily said fiercely, her voice echoing with determination, each syllable igniting a deeper fire within her. "We'll show it the strength of our unity, every note, every friendship fuels our song." With that declaration, she felt the music thrumming through the air, resonant and vibrant, bolstering her strength. It coursed through her melodies of joy, courage, and love blending together, creating a lush tapestry woven from their experiences. As they pressed onward, a wave of shadows surged forward, forming into a grotesque visage of swirling darkness. The Veil Keeper emerged, its form indistinct, a swirling mass of fears and doubts. Taken shape. "Who dares intrude?" it hissed, its voice a cacophony of whispers. Rattling with uncertainty, yet propelled by courage, Emily stepped forward. "We dare." Her voice rang out, fierce and undeterred. "We seek the truth, and we will not be silenced by fear." The shadowy figure recoiled, wavering for just a moment. The remaining creatures of the forest rallied around them, colors shimmering in the fight against the darkness. Almost instinctively, they reached out, calling upon their bond, a clarion call woven from their collective strength. "Together!" Tom shouted, stepping beside Emily. With that, they joined hands, feeling the spark of energy flow between them. "We choose to uncover the truth." The shadows stirred, the eerie winds swirling around. But Emily felt it. The song more than a melody, it was a battle cry. Mixing her voice with Tom S. and Max S., she sang the heart of their truth, a powerful anthem rising against the darkness. The Veil Keeper shrieked, a sound that echoed through the trees. But as the harmonies merged and intertwined, bright lights erupted, unfurling across the clearing, casting away shadows with each note that rang true. No! The Keeper bellowed, the powerful presence beginning to shatter. I will not be extinguished. But Emily pressed on, unwavering. You will not hold us back. The truth will find its way. With one final surge of energy, she unleashed all the love, bravery, and hope within her, sending a tidal wave of light toward the shadowy figure. It flickered, wavering as the brilliant explosion of light unraveled the darkness pinned against the walls of the forest. As the echoes of the song faded slowly, Emily stood still, panting, brimming with an unshakable sense of accomplishment. Around her, the forest breathed anew, vibrant and alive, transformed by their courage. The Veil Keeper shrank within itself, dissolving into a mist of memory, rendered powerless against the truth they had unearthed. You did it, Luma whispered, awestruck. You've changed everything. As the light settled, they found themselves surrounded by the forest's harmony, each sound a testament to their bravery. Tears of joy prickled at Emily's eyes. This was not just a victory, it was a celebration of friendship, courage, and the bonds that had shaped their journey. Holding on to Tom and Max, she felt a warmth ripple through her, the beauty of what they had achieved together far greater than themselves. But as they marveled at the wardens of the forest, dancing and singing around them, Emily understood that their story was just beginning. What comes next? She asked, eyes bright with expectation. Next, Luma said with a gentle smile, we discover the heart of the forest, the melodies yet unsung. With hope lighting the path ahead, they stepped into the brightness, unwavering in their quest. Together, they were not just seekers anymore, they were the bearers of light, ready to embrace every song woven within the tapestry of life. As their laughter mingled with the blossoming melodies carried by the wind, Emily realized a profound truth: sometimes, it just takes a heart full of courage to change the world. So, dear friends, what will you do? Stand up, be brave, and let your own song be heard. This is the moment to show your support. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let us keep this amazing journey going. Comment your reactions and feelings about this ending. You need to share your thoughts. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You are part of this incredible adventure, so let us spread the magic.